Hello and welcome to Forgiveness in 5. I'm Susan Bolinger, and we're talking today about two things: loving God and loving others. In Ephesians 4:32, it says, "And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you." By not forgiving, we become imprisoned by our hatred, and we are tortured by our bitterness. Everything we do in life that has any eternal value hinges on two things: loving God and loving others. Every commandment thereafter hinges on those two things. While we're in the process of forgiving someone, humbling ourselves, surrendering our will to the Lord, getting pride out of the way, when we forgive, did you know that is when God is in the middle of perfecting us? Because we are being obedient to what the Holy Spirit is trying to do. The Holy Spirit was sent to us as a comforter, as a guide, and you need to utilize him every single day. If you ask, he will lead and guide you in your every decision. And when you do, then you will make healthier decisions, more meaningful decisions, and more eternal decisions. Forgiveness opens our heart and our mind, and it allows the Holy Spirit to work freely in you. It releases you to love God more and feel his love in greater measure. Life is worth nothing without that. Feeling Christ's love. We can't deceive God. He knows if we've really forgiven or not. He's always watching. And he knows the very intent of our heart. He knows if you've forgiven or not. And our attitude will determine the power of God in our lives. That's big. When you forgive, you do yourself the biggest favor. Why should you stay in a miserable state when the person who hurt you is out there living life? They could care less what's going on with you. They've moved on. You're out of sight. You're out of mind. And yet you're still here in your shell. And you have continued to hurt because you've kept that unforgiveness inside your heart. Why? You're being tortured here in this world. And if you don't forgive, that means you won't make it to heaven. And you'll be tortured in the world after. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. Please listen to what I'm saying to you today. Forgive those who have hurt you. It does not matter. I promise you it doesn't. Yes, they may have hurt you. Okay, they hurt you. You've worked through it. It didn't kill you. You're still here because you're watching this video. And you can overcome it when you hand it all to Jesus. So, what if you feel like you really wanted to clear the air with someone who has hurt you and they have passed away? Well, I actually had this happen in one of my ladies' retreats where a woman was so distraught because she needed to get that out of her. She wanted to be able to tell that person how she felt, but they had passed away. And so what I encouraged her to do was to sit down and write out all of her feelings. Good, bad, horrible. I didn't care what feelings were in there. The purpose was to get it out and to give it to the Lord. And she did that weekend. And it was an amazing breakthrough for her because she did not allow that bitterness to stay inside her heart. As long as that bitterness stayed there, then she was still tied to the past from when that incident happened. And it set her free. And she's been able to now move on with her life and be used for the Lord in greater measure. So I hope this has benefited you today, and I pray blessings over you and your family. And I'll see you next time on Forgiveness in 5.